Afternoon watchers, Scott from SE Landscaping here, and what I am on with today is a bit of bulb planting. It is early November. Some might say it's a little late, but we are up north so we can get away with planting what we're going to be planting today at this time. It's ideal planting time for tulips. They do like to be put in a bit later, but we're also planting alliums, daffodils and crocuses. But like I say, because we're up north, it's a bit different to the climate down south, so we are allowed a bit of grace up here. And through previous experience, I know these bulbs will still come up. We plant year on year up here, and usually due to workload we're always late. So like I say, I'll take you out, I'll show you what bulbs we've got, and we'll get you some footage of the various types of bulbs we're going to put in and how we're going to put them in, so stay tuned. So guys, here we are. I do tell a lie, we don't have crocuses, we have a bag full of snowdrops, which are very small bulbs, don't need to go in the ground very much at all. So we've got some of those. A bag of tulips, which, like I say, it is the ideal time to put tulips in this time of year. Narcissus, aka daffodil. Finally, the expensive ones, £1.10 each, allium bulbs, a bit like onions. So bulb planting wise, 4 different techniques really. One, we've got the old-fashioned bulb planter, which I'm not a big fan of. 2, the spade, if you're digging an area which I'm going to show you under grass in a little bit. 3, this tool is for bulb planting as well, but it goes on a drill, so you just drill a hole in the ground and you pop, sort of for daffodils and alliums it's ideal, just drill a hole and pop the bulb in the hole and backfill it. So if you want, if sort of your old person or something and you're struggling, or that's the ideal tool to put bulbs in with the drill, because there's no pushing down or anything. And finally, my RHS Chelsea Flower Show 2019 trowel, which unfortunately I haven't got a 2021 due to COVID, but hopefully things will be back to normal next year and we'll get another one. So we'll get the bulbs over to the site and we'll show you a bit of bulb planting. So when you're putting these bulbs in the turf, they just won't be just below the surface. It's just a matter of digging a channel out. Just as if you were lifting turf from an old lawn. And you're just opening it up like that. Spread them around, they will correct themselves, you don't have to worry about them standing up. Turf back on. That's pretty much it. All you would do is repeat the process. And this works as well as snowdrops, this works for crocuses as well. Very small bulbs just to put under the surface. They don't need to be very deep at all. Back in. And that's it, and that'll grow back. So this is the area that we're going to be planting some bulbs in next, and as I explained with this bulb planter, the ground needs to be soft because you've got to push it in, and because it goes in on an angle. When you take it out, you're taking the soil out with it, and then you obviously put the bulb in and dump it. But if it's wet, the soil sticks and it doesn't do what it's supposed to. So I'm not a big fan of the bulb planter. As you can see, it's still got the label on, and we've had it years. I'm more of a big fan of just going at it with a trowel. So tulips, for instance, basic planting wise with them, you're looking at getting these 2 to 3 times the depth. So you've got a trowel there. So if you look at the trowel, 1, 2, 3. If you went for a trowel depth with the bulb, that should be adequate. So for instance, go down a trowel depth, slot it in, same next to it, and look, there's one from previous. So I wasn't aware there was any bulbs in here, but so that's what you're looking at. And the thing to remember is with the tulip bulbs is they like the ground to be cold before they plant. So they're one of the bulbs that like to go in later. So they'll love this conditions at the moment. It's the same again if you were planting on mass like we've just done with the snowdrops. You would just dig a hole in the soil, just dig it all out, and you could actually put sort of a pile of bulbs in all together with that, if that was something that you were looking to do. But as we just looking to put a few clumps in this area, then that suits. So moving on with the daffodils. These are the same again. You're sort of looking to plant these at around 2 times the depth. So if you look at the trowel, you do need to be a good depth with the trowel. And it's the same for these. Now, plant them upright, so you've got the hairy end at the bottom. But if they were planted on the side, the thing with daffodils is they do correct themselves, so they do pop themselves back up, so you haven't got to worry too much about them. Like I say, the amount we've got here, which is a huge bag, if 1 or 2 didn't pop up, we wouldn't be too worried. What we would be worried about is our next choice of bulbs, and that is Alliums. Now these are roughly £1 each, so we've got a bag there of £200 bulbs, so we do want these to go up more than anything. Like I said, we want all plants to come up, but these are especially important. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a row of alliums at the back here, and with the alliums they like to be deep, so they like to be sort of 4 times the depth. So if you look at what we've got on a trowel, 2, 3, 3.5, it's a little bit more than a trowel. So let's get some put in. And it's the same again. If you're planting en masse, you just you would just dig a channel out to the depth, and that would do the job. So, but here we're just going to put a row in the back of this bed, because this bed's going to get filled up with shrubs in a few months' time. I'm going to buy some lavenders just to go in here. So same again, and then just knocking it roundabout afterwards. But remembering or taking photos of the area so you know where you put the bulbs. Then also next year taking photos of them when you've come up, so that you know exactly where you've planted. And then when you come back next year, if there's a gap, you can say, right, I want to whack some more bulbs in there just to fill that gap. So, because what we're doing here is planning for 4, 5, 6 months ahead. So although the ground looks horrible now, come the spring This area will look amazing. So planning ahead all the time with gardening, whether it's ordering bedding, summer bedding which you're ordering in the for Christmas ready for next year. We've already got our summer bedding ordered in, and that's pretty much it. So come the time when the Alliums pop their heads up, we'll have a nice row in there. As well as that, we'll have some daffodils, some tulips along the front, so there'll be some colour for most of spring and on into the summer in this area. And then we're going to fill the middle in with some shrubs, so should look good. I'm just going to plant some more random pockets. Across the grounds wet, you can see where we've been with it being fresh. So, the shrubs that I did mention, the reason we're putting them in later is we'll plant around these. So with lavender's spread, so if we plant pockets like this, we'll be able to plant the lavender 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that you've got something to take over once all the bulbs are finished. But then when the lavenders are doing nothing in the spring, then the bulbs show the heads, and it just makes an area do more of the season, if that makes sense. Another one in here. Gauging where your plants are going to go, how far apart, so that you've still got, like I say, space for 3 lavenders there. By the time the lavenders fill out, the tulips will come through, and then when the tulips are finished, the lavenders will fill out. And 1 or 2 pockets of daffodils. Narcissi, as people call them. Like I say, it's personal preference, but I can plant more bulbs with either a spade on master planting or with a trowel than I could with a bulb planter. Unless the ground's been cultivated, it's a different story. Like I say, with what we're doing here, I'm happy that I'm doing it the most efficient way. Bulb planting at the wrong depths can result in various things. They'll just not come up at all. Daffodils especially, they'll come up blind, so they'll grow but they'll be just the leaf, they won't flower. That's just something to bear in mind. It's pointless wasting all that money if you're not going to do the job properly. So you can see where I've been with the changes in the soil, like I said. So if we're planting lavenders through these gaps, it will be like these. They will overfill because these have bulbs in the middle. So there'll be bulbs coming through here that we planted 3 or 4 years ago. So it will look exactly like that in a year or 2. So this is a new bed that we've just stripped out that had heathers in. Unfortunately it didn't do too good. So I'm not sure what we're going to put in. We'll probably go down the bedding route But at the back of the border, I'm just going to put some more of the alliums in, what we have here. With the spring / summer bedding, whichever one's in at the time, these will make a nice backdrop. So guys, the video you've just watched on the bulb planting, just a short one, like I say, in the series of gardening hints and tips. Hope it helps a few people out. As I said, it's not, if you're up north, it's not too late to still plant bulbs, and definitely not too late to plant tulips. If you're down south, then yes, you're probably leaving it a bit late, but to be fair, I've seen us put bulbs in the ground in December, and they've daffodils and things, and they've still grown. So it's, if you've got some hanging about, it's worth taking a chance. I will get a video next year when these bulbs start to grow, what they look like in the areas that we've done today. So thanks for watching, guys. Any questions on anything, as usual, with the gardening or landscaping or anything, drop me a line, and I will try my best to get you some answers. So thanks for watching. If you're not already done so, if you can give us a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next one.